Hey guys, so today I'll be reviewing the comic Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, The Big Lie. So this is actually like a prequel to the famous buzz that's going on the internet, the death of Nancy Drew. The news actually came on the 90th anniversary of Nancy Drew. So like there was this huge buzz about it, and I love Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. I grew up with it. Um, when I saw this, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then I started reading a bunch of articles about it, and the big lie kept popping up. So I was like, "What is the big lie?" And I started doing like research, investigating on what this the big lie is all about, and I was like, "Oh my god." I totally missed a really great story, and especially that is a prequel to the death of Nancy Drew, although the authors they've already said that it's not you don't have to read the big lie in order to understand the death of Nancy Drew. But I know I'm gonna read the death of Nancy Drew, so I need to read this. And oh my god, I love this comic. It's so amazing. It's actually the first comic that I've ever read, to be honest. Um, at least from what I recall, and all I can say is that it's really amazing. Anthony, the author, as well as Luther, I think I pronounced your name properly. I'm not sure. Please forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. But and the entire team that brought the big lie to life, they did a really great job, and I'm very proud of their work. I I would recommend this to any Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys fan, especially like if you're into comics. I think you would like this. Although I've seen some reviews and some people, I think one or two people didn't really like the comic strip. I'm not sure, but I personally loved it. I loved it so much that I actually read it within 2 hours, maybe less. If you actually minus the time I had to use the bathroom and just stretch my legs. And I read it twice. Yes, I read it twice. So I read it the day after I picked it up from customs, and I read it yesterday. So that's like twice in 1 week, and I can read it again. I have no problem reading this again, but I really love this. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. If I can give it 10 out of 5 stars, I will. 10 out of 5, yeah, can't go wrong with that. But I do know that some people have an issue with it because it's a very no story, no meaning, very dark and very twisted. And to be honest, if you grew up with Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, you're accustomed to a certain way that they are, and this basically trumps everything you know about Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, like their personality, what they're about. This is like Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys growing up, and to be honest, like I'm a writer and I've been working on my book and stories and whatnot, and I always said that because I'm always a huge fan of Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. I would love at some point to get into Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys to kind of rework their stories, not so much rework, but just to do something fresh with the characters. I don't know how that works, but I guess if I get there, I'll see how to do that. But the point is, I would actually create Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys the way Anthony and Luther created them in The Big Lie. They're very dark. They're very, like I said, grown up, and they have adult issues, and it's totally amazing. There isn't anything wrong with this comic. I don't want to be biased because this is the first comic that I've read, but this is sort of like a template for me with respect to comics. I don't have plans to read any other comics. I'm sorry, because I usually prefer books, as you can see. But I when I saw the whole buzz about it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm very interested, and then I was like, okay, I need to read The Big Lie. Like, I need to read this, and I waited, I think, about a week for my copy of The Big Lie to reach, and yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. I'm like, guys, this is really good. I loved it. I can read it a third and fourth time. Like, I'm honestly gonna read this maybe 2 or 3 times, who knows, before the death of Nancy Drew releases. So I would just like to say that Anthony and Luther and the entire team in Dynamite, thank you so much for the story. I'm looking forward to the death of Nancy Drew. I know there was a huge negative buzz about it, but I do think you guys did a really great job with The Big Lie, and I know you're gonna do a good job with The Death of Nancy Drew. I am 100% behind you on this story. I can't wait. The only thing though is that I don't see myself reading um each comic chapter one per month. I don't know how that's gonna work out. I have to figure out, like, with respect to ordering and stuff, because I ordered this from Amazon. I'm generally used to Amazon, so, and I know that the individual chapters, they're not on Amazon hard copy. I love my hard copies, by the way. So that's the only thing. But I do know that once the entire comic strip is released in paperback, like Big Lie, I will be purchasing it. I just can't wait. I'm sorry, but I'm so excited for the Death of Nancy Drew. Like, I want to see how that story unfolds and how the Big Lie continues into the Death of Nancy Drew, because I know it's a continuation, even though you don't really need to read it to understand the Death of Nancy Drew. But I like that. I like to make sure that I understand the premise of a story before I get into another one, even though you don't really need it, you know. And it's a great starter to kind of understand what's taking place and what will take place in the Death of Nancy Drew. I love these characters so much. Like, I'm in love. I really love them. Like, you've taken characters that I love as a kid, even growing up, even up to like late last year, I was reading Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, and now I'm just loving this adult version of Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. Like, they're so epic. Yeah, so I can't wait for the Death of Nancy Drew. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you again, Anthony and Mutha and the entire team. I'm really looking forward to the Death of Nancy Drew. So until then, take care. Bye.